So good evening and welcome to SAS, Sober and Smiling. My name's Rob.
I'm Nick.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Liam.
And I'm Damon.
So we are on episode 27, I believe.
Whoa.
Basically, we want to just go through last week's, really. Just a bit of a carry on from last week, and as to why we went to video, why we asked Nick to do a main share or a life story, and just give you some feedback on how it's gone for us, really. So the video was a big thing. I've had quite a few messages from people that I know about why we decided to break anonymity, even though that we've done this for quite a few months now on audio. Obviously you couldn't see us guys, and for us living in this smallish community, I suppose, anybody looking will see us straight away, and obviously associate us with the dreaded word of an addict. So, and in most meetings that I've ever been into in the 8 years I've been in recovery, anonymity is the biggest no-no in the world, or seems to be. They don't want to be, seems to be associated with that word of addiction. For me personally, I wanted to do the videos because I wanted to break that. I wanted to break the myth of a bad light for addicts. I'm quite proud of what I've accomplished in recovery, and I don't mind telling anybody, and I don't mind the people I know, the friends, the family, even my customers that only know me from my work. I don't mind them seeing me on video talking about this. The prejudice out there, we need to break it. Basically, if we can just do one video and help one person and break that barrier, then that's all I'm in it for. We're not in it for great comments or likes. I'm just in it just to help people. And if us talking real and the odd swear word and everything else, but you see in our faces, that's the most important thing for me. If you see somebody's face and they're talking like Nick did on his main share and his life story, and you see the pain in somebody's eyes at what they went through, that's the important bit. We can all speak and we can all read from a page and everything else, and we can all sound great, but to actually see it in somebody's eyes and what they went through, that for me is important. And that's why we do life stories. That's why when you come into recovery, you do a life story. Because it's only by doing a life story you actually learn your past and your past mistakes. So yeah, that's me on that subject for now. But yeah, anybody else got any comments from last week?
Yeah, to be fair, Robert, I would like to say this first now. I would like to apologise for my colourful language for last week. Yes, there was a good few swear words thrown out, but that was only because really it's how emotional I was getting about it, and how much it sort of affected me, which to be fair I didn't think it would affect me and make me as emotional as it did, but you know, these things have to happen. And to be fair, that's part of the reason why I did it, not for swearing, sorry, but you know, I wanted to get my story out there, and that to mainly help people, to break this stigma that, you know, all addicts are bad people, and it just ain't true. I mean, it's bad enough that they get stigmatised enough in the press and media and stuff like that, unless, no disrespect, you're like a big multi-millionaire who has got the money to afford the Betty Ford clinic, and that, then it's a great thing, but so just the average Joe Bloggs person who's just fallen on a bad time and who's developed an addiction, they don't seem to do much for.
But people, sorry to interject, people want to see that's the point of it.
Yeah.
People need to see the emotion. So when you do a life story, you have to see that. And I've sponsored many people, if people, and I'm sat down and they're going through the life story, if there's no emotion there, and there's no, like step sort of like 4 and 5, if there's no emotion and there's no crying and you don't break down at the end of the day, you ain't doing it right. And people need to, I think personally, people need to see that shit. And whether you swear or not is irrelevant. That's just how it needs to come out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, I could have, if I was to have gone into depth, more like real depth to the story, we probably would have been sat here for about 2 hours and that. But we obviously sort of condensed down because we have a time and that. But no, the emotion has got to be there because you can't sit there like a robot when you're saying it, when you're doing something like it, because it just doesn't, it just won't feel right. Because you can tell when, I always say you can tell when someone's not being sincere about something just by looking at somebody's face and that. And okay, I've not got the prettiest face in the world, but hey. They probably turn around and go, "Oh, is he the one talking?" Oh God, not him.
Yeah, I think I'll jump in. I think the whole anonymity thing for me is I was a bit thingy about doing videos, but you know I came round to it and I thought about it, and I think we've got to respect people's anonymity as well, though, haven't we? But I don't think it should be kind of like that's how it should be. Do you know what I mean? Because when I've put some thought to it and stuff and plucked up the confidence to go and sit on a video or do a video, it's kind of like last week. I know I didn't say much, and in fact I didn't say anything at all. But
You just look pretty at the camera.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a selling point, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Pouting.
Selling it. But I came away and I felt really quite good from that because it was kind of like up another level in my sobriety. And I was thinking, well, you know, addiction keeps you isolated.
Yeah.
Why should recovery keep you isolated as well? Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, you know, if I can go out there and be proud of what I've done and where I'm at now, then like you said, it's gonna help other people.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, I'm not. I mean, I know what I've done in the past is wrong, but do you know what? I'm not ashamed of it.
No.
Because it's made me who I am today, and it's made my character bigger and stronger. And you know, I've been there, I've done it, and I've got the T-shirt. You know, and I can talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, the video thing was was a big step for me, for this addict in my sobriety. But I feel like I've opened another door now. You know, and eventually, you know, I will sit on a video and I will talk about things. You know, so. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing.
I agree with you, to be fair, because like I say, I've been in rehab 4 times now, and the first 3 times I went in, especially the first 2, like my family didn't want anybody to know where I'd gone. So in a way, I was kind of hiding it, and then I didn't really feel comfortable telling people that I was an addict. But kind of this time round, because I'll tell anybody today that I'm an addict, and I've broadcasted myself all over social media. It's almost like it's freed me because, you know, and I'm not, it doesn't shame me. And it's like I say, and obviously how recovery works, it's about being transparent, you know, being completely honest. And obviously when you're showing your face and you're kind of telling people, you know, all over the world that don't know you from like your personal story, it does do something to you. But obviously also as well, it's helping a lot of people because people think, well, if he's been through what he's been through and he's got the balls to come out and say that, then maybe, you know, it's not so bad for me. Because, you know, as you say, I mean, we're like closed, I mean, especially men, we're like closed books, aren't we?
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about our thoughts and feelings. And if you're, you know, quite happy to, you know, show your face and talk about your thoughts and feelings and your deepest, darkest secrets for everybody to hear, then it takes a lot of balls.
Yeah, it does.
You know, but again, it's fear that, you know, it's like with addiction, it's fear that kind of keeps you stuck.
Yeah.
So, like I say, when you kind of go through that fear barrier, I mean, it's a massive thing. Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you from doing last week. Admittedly, when I walked in do it, there was a bit in there, as obviously you can tell, with nerves because I started babbling. I just started babbling, saying absolute nonsense. But then eventually I get into rhythm of things. And it started off a bit like that, and when I actually got to it, when the time had finished, I can honestly tell you how actually weirdly liberating it was.
Yeah, sure.
That's it, it's out there. And okay, you get these initial feelings of, God, what are people going to think? And that, but that's just a damage.
I think that's the main thing of thinking what people are going to think. That is the main thing, and it's sad because the perception of an addict, people just think the bad people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And doing the video as well, for everyone to see that we're just normal guys, we're decent people, you know, we've got decent families, decent jobs. It's just that we've got this thing going on in our heads that is addiction, you know, and you can't, addiction is addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever, you know, it's just how your head's wired up, you know, so that's what's going on. We're not bad people. So I think doing the videos, when we do them, hopefully somewhere along the line, it's going to change the perception of what an addict actually is. You know, we're not down and out, downtrodden people.
Yeah, because people think, don't they, that, you know, an addict is like a junkie, like someone on a park bench or
exactly.
Person, but,
exactly.
You know, the mums, the dads, the business professionals, you know, all sorts of different backgrounds.
It's neurological, isn't it? It's up here.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a thing in your
It's an invisible disease.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't see it. You just don't know what's going off in someone's head.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, there's a lot of people out there that are addicts that don't even want to admit it because they're functioning addicts. You know, and that's what I used to be because I had a really good job. You know, everything looked right on the outside. And that's how you got away with it. But I want right in here, in my head.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
One thing I have had this week, which was quite, I say a surprise, but yes and no in a way, was, like we saying, talk about change perception of addicts and that. One thing I found wasn't just people who are in recovery speaking out to. A couple of things I've had this week was actually collared by people who ain't addicts, like people who know me, people who know me where I work, who've come up to me and who've watched the video and like, Jesus, you know, I've never known it, and they've actually asked questions.
Yeah.
Not nasty ones, just general sort of curiosity questions. Like even my boss, I mean, my boss knows everything. I was straight and honest with him from the start. And he watched it and he pulled me to one side and he just asked me a few questions about, you know, just about a couple of things and that, like what addicts do and like my behaviour and stuff like that. And it wasn't him nitpicking, you could tell he was genuinely curious. Because you got to bear in mind, some of these people also probably have relatives or friends who are in the same position,
or probably themselves are going through it. Do you know what I mean? Because you've just held a mirror up to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So I've had people ask me questions about, you know, what did I do? You know, what did I do? You know, what was it like when you were out there and that? You know, how did you come up? How did you get off and that? And some of it was like some of it was really interesting. You could tell there was a genuine curiosity behind it. Don't get me wrong, I had the odd sort of person who was trying to rip take and all that, but you get that anywhere you go. But no, I was quite surprised just how many normal people were actually asking me questions. Because, like I said, whether it's they want to gain a better understanding, because like I said, they've got relatives or friends who are addicts and that, and they're trying to understand why they do what they do. And every time I just kept saying, you know, this is what it does, and kept trying to pull on and say, this is what we talk about. If you want a better understanding of that, come and listen to the podcast. What a shameless promotion that was. But I can help myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been quite eye-opening and educational, I'll be honest with you.
So it's there to for me anyway, it's there to hold a mirror up to everyone's perception or every other person's perception of being an addict and being in recovery. There is this massive stigma about addiction and recovery and the person you are or the person everybody perceives you to be. Yeah. Mainly because Nick just said something about people asking him and made that comment, normal people asking him about it. And that's because of friends and family. It probably isn't. It's probably about themselves. Yeah. A lot of people who drink a lot or who are drink dependent, not addicts, have an issue with their drinking. That's why they ask questions.
I think you find it that people who don't really fully understand what's going off.
Nobody understands.
Yeah, they're kind of like, I've had it before, like, oh, you used to drink this amount, you used to do this, and you used to do that. Yeah. And it's like, hang on a minute. let's just take a minute and talk about how I've turned my life around. I've had the bollocks to fucking look inside myself and gone, why am I doing this? Do you know what I mean? And people forget that bit. They always go back to, and that's the perception again. You know, the perception of an addict is it's really bad.
You've just hit the nail on the head. We've or people in recovery and us here have turned their lives around.
Yeah.
And we have become better people for it. No,
100%.
I'm not
100%.
blowing our own trumpets,
No.
but we have.
Yeah.
We've done stuff and looked into ourselves and into our own mental health, which everyone's got an issue with mental health. Everybody.
Yeah.
We've got a massive issue with mental health because that's addiction. But we've actually done something about it where normal people don't do anything about it. They don't go into their past history and don't
For me, Rob, that takes a certain strength in a person.
It does. But this should come first before people look at our past.
Exactly.
And also as well, how fucking hard it is to get sober.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you think there's 5 people in this room which are all sober, and what's the ratio to like how many people to every
1 to 1,000, something like that.
1 to
1,000, something.
Yeah, 1 in 1,000 people can actually get sober, and there's 5 people in this room that are all sober. So that's 5 out of 5,000 people who have actually managed to do it and turn their life around. I mean, it's massive, really. Yeah. And like I say, I mean, and we don't get credit for it, but not that you want it.
You don't
like
want,
you say, but people just. And I it doesn't bother me anymore. But when people kind of bring up the past and what you've done, and because like I say, because we get better and we sort ourselves out, but then other people aren't prepared to look at themselves and they stay stuck where they were.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I see it all the time in relationships.
It's just taking accountability for yourself, isn't it?
Taking accountability.
That's it.
But
That's exactly it.
But I was saying, but if everybody took accountability for their own actions, the world would be a different place.
100%, mate.
When nobody's prepared to look at themselves and say, yeah, I've been a bit of a twat there as well. I held my hands up. I played a part in that. But everyone's like, well, you did this, you did that. It was like it was all my fault. But I'm not saying what I've done in the past has been right, but there's been reasons as to why I've done stuff. And when you're in addiction, there's like the Jekyll and Hyde. It's not you that's in control of your actions. You do whatever you've got to do to get that drug or that substance or whatever it is that you need. And there's no stopping you doing it. You will literally just go to the end of the earth to do it.
Exactly, yeah.
But you're not in control of your actions at that time. But obviously when you get sober, that past can still come back and bite you in the arse because people haven't forgiven you. But, like you say, you do your amends, you kind of say your apologies to people. And if they don't want to accept it or they don't like the new you, then unfortunately they have to... you have to keep a wide berth from them because, like I say, there's certain people that just don't do my mental health any good. That have to, that I've had to keep at arm's length.
Yeah, but that's why these what Nick did last week, and what hopefully each of us in turn will do in the months to follow. We're doing it to change people's perspective of what they think of us. I mean, I'm going to do mine in a couple of weeks, say, and my thought pattern is not to do it for myself, it's to do it for my family. Yeah. So they understand, and they seem to understand, and everybody that I speak to seems to understand what I went through. But they don't really know. That's the problem. They don't really know. They don't know how... And normal people don't know how it feels.
The thing is, even if you tell them, though, they're still not going to understand. Unless you've got an addict mindset, no one's ever really going to get it. They think they get it.
They won't.
But they don't.
The point of the videos and stuff like that is to try and explain it, I suppose. To try and get this... And it's just to stop the stigma
I think it creates that connection as well, doesn't it? The video with people. People, when people are watching, because... I know, like, if I listen to a podcast, I'll listen to a podcast and I put my earbuds in. Yeah. But there's people out there, a few celebrities or whatnot, who are doing podcasts, but the video podcasts. And you watch them and you feel yourself getting more engrossed into it because there's that, you can see the person, like you were saying at the beginning, and you feel like you're connected.
If you're
do you know what I mean?
In the eye, you know whether it's sincere or not.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Exactly.
Like I said, I could say read off a script
Mm.
and sound really intelligent.
Yeah.
And know what I'm talking about, but it won't come across as sincere.
Yeah.
Unless people see the sort of like the pain and the hurt and
Yeah.
the hope,
Yeah.
even the hope in your eyes.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
That's really important. That people,
Definitely.
if we can change one mind about,
We can change the world.
one mind from my family to what they perceived that I was,
Yeah.
rather than just a selfish prick,
Yeah.
then that's job done for me.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely,
I mean,
mate.
I'd like, for people to see it differently, but like I say, I think over time.
I think over time, people will eventually.
Over time, yeah.
Because there's a lot more people coming out with it.
Oh, yeah, there is. And what I've realised this time is you can't apologise because you've done it too much in the past. It's all you can do is show within your actions that you've changed.
Yeah.
And over time, people will probably see that you've changed. But
Yeah.
it's pointless saying, you're sorry and you're not going to do it again because they've heard it too many times.
But do you know the thing is though, when you've got all that fear of like, I don't want to tell people I'm an addict. I don't want to say I'm an addict, right? But do you know if you actually, and I've done it a few times, you sit down with someone and you say, look, yeah, I have been through that, and yeah, I have done that, but I'm not ashamed of it, and I've done this to get a better person. 9 out of 10 times they'll go, well done, good on you, that's amazing. They never go, do you know what I mean? And it's like that kind of like lifts that fear and anxiety a little bit,
Because they respect the fact you've had it in you to make that change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, that level up thing. I've noticed every time every time I feel fearful about something, I just think, no, sod you, I'm doing it. And it does it like levels you up every single time. Because there's always something. I'm not sure about everything since I've got sober this time. Everything that I've felt, like doing, showing my face on social media, like doing videos and telling my life story and all that sort of stuff. Every time I've done it, when I've done it, it's like. Because my head's telling me, people are going to take the piss, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And everything my head's told me is going to happen, it's been the complete opposite.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think, right, okay, and it just makes me feel stronger and stronger about this fear. Because like I say, once you can knock fear on the head, fear's been a massive thing for me.
And that's what the video does, though, isn't it? That's exactly what doing the video does.
I think
it kills all the fear and all that,
yeah.
And you're just there and you're open and you're like, yeah, I'm here and I've been through this.
I think that's mainly our own perception, though, isn't it? So
yeah.
We bring fear into it. So
yeah.
As Nick said, we don't. I've never had a truly negative comment to me telling somebody that I'm an addict or I'm a recovering addict or whatever. People won't necessarily say anything bad to your face or anything.
No.
Because of who we are and because of the way our brains work, we perceive that they're going to do that.
Yeah.
We perceive that
every
we
time.
always perceive the worst. So, I mean, me especially, I think people think that I'm a piece of shit or something.
Yeah.
I had 30 years in addiction, and yes, I did some really horrible stuff and everything else. There's no two ways about it. But I think that people will always do that. As soon as somebody hears the word addict, it generally, my mind generally goes, you ain't worth time of day, mate.
Yeah.
But that's the fear that Jamie said. That's the fear of that's my fear. And generally, it doesn't come across that way from other people.
Yeah. True.
Dave, mate?
Yes, mate.
Anything to say, mate?
No, I did have a bath 15 minutes ago, but I've forgotten about it.
He's tired and he's tired. He's hungry. If you could see him, guys.
I tried to get in, and I tried to get a word in about 15 minutes. No, I did, mate. And then you start talking, and someone else.
Go on then, get your word in now then.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, he's forgot what he's saying.
Thanks tonight. I'm wasting my time tonight.
So have you done a life story?
No.
You've not written down a life story or anything? Because you haven't got
I've written one down for Jamie when I started working with Jamie, but it's not, it's all up here anyway. It's not, it doesn't go away, does it?
No, it doesn't go away, but there's something different about, that's why, so like in meetings and stuff, you're told to get a sponsor and to do this, so like one-on-one. I know you've done it with Jamie, but there's something different about writing it down and then reading it out, rather than it being
No,
in your brain.
I've had to write it down and read it out. It's not just, I didn't just come and say,
No,
oh, this is what
yeah.
I've done, and I've done this and I've done that. You know, it was a process where I did have to write it down. You know, I had to come to terms with a lot of stuff. You know, it's not, like I say, it's not stuff you forget, but it's stuff you just put at the back of your mind, because it's, you know, it's been and it's gone, and yeah, it's holding you back from having a bright future, but at the same time, you're dealing with that much shit that it's just another piece of paper on the pile of shit that you're dealing with.
But did it bring stuff forth that you didn't realise?
No, not really. I
So
mean, it's all stuff I realised. It was just dealing with it in a calm, put it into some perspective, put it in some sort of order where I can actually sift through it rather than just have it, you know.
Yeah, so it helped by doing.
Yeah.
My point is that we do, and we asked Nick to do his life story, and if you're in certain meetings and stuff, the life story is the first thing you ever do, because it's a process of healing basically, and my perception of the life story is you write it down, then you tell another human being of it, and it brings up stuff that we don't want to talk about, and B, the brain sort of like makes us forget stuff, so we block stuff out.
I wouldn't necessarily say I was bothered about talking about any of it. You know, it's emotional, but until you get it down on paper, there's that much. It's not that you don't want to talk about it, it's picking it out.
Yeah.
But it's not, I mean, I am bothered what people think. I never have been. It's, you know, this is anonymity. I always say to people, walk a mile in my shoes before you touch the things I've done. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, that's not me saying I don't care about what I've done, but that's, like we said earlier on, those are things that I may have made bad decisions at the time that seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
Oh, no, 100%. You can never be ashamed of your past or what you've done in the past. You can be regretful, but you can't ever be ashamed of it, I don't think.
I don't even think to a point you shouldn't regret. I think regret's the wrong word. Remorseful might be a better word. You know, you don't. If you're going to regret something, you wouldn't do it if you've got, you know, morals of some kind. But remorseful, definitely. You know, definitely some apologies that you've got to give. But you can't live with regrets. You know, that's just something else you're going to look back on.
But we don't look back at it, do we?
No, and that's it. So again, no regrets. But man, I don't care what people think of me. You know, I don't think I ever have. To be fair, it's not. I think that comes from. I don't know. If you feel worthless, what's it matter what someone else thinks? If you already feel like, you know, what you think of me can't be worse than what I think of me, so whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it usually don't bother me.
But it's just trying to get the point across of obviously a life story, which is what we're going to do. So Nick's done his. I know it's short and a short version of it. I'm going to do mine, and hopefully the rest of them are going to.
I'll do mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it. We won't rush it or anything like that, because it is a big. It's still a big undertaking. I've got to admit. I know we've spoken about it, and we can all be sort of like quite flippant about it. And even though I don't really, I'm not worried about what people think, and I will tell anybody that I'm a recovering addict. Still doing the life story on video still scares the crap out of me. I'll do it, and I don't mind doing it, and I'll tell everybody the truth, but it still scares the crap out of me. And if it didn't scare the crap out of me, there'd be something wrong with me.
Yeah.
So,
Like, well, it is. I mean, like I say, all the videos I've done now on social media, it still scares me every time I do one.
yeah.
But I think it's good though to feel.
It's brilliant
Yeah.
healing
I mean, you
process,
feel,
yeah.
well, but you're feeling you're feeling your emotions, because I've never felt my emotions. I've always numbed them out.
Yeah.
With drink and drugs, so to actually say I can feel my emotions today, and I know what emotions I'm feeling. It's quite a nice feeling, because I've just felt, you know, when I don't know if I'm happy, sad, tired, lonely, pissed off. You know, I've never really known. I've just known I've just not been happy, just off.
Yeah.
But I know today, if I feel sad, if I feel scared, if I feel angry, you know.
But we never had to do it, and yeah, I mean, we never had to deal with it in the past. Well, I didn't anyway.
No, because you just,
I'll
as soon as
just
it come
block
in,
it out.
that's it, you just
Yeah.
block it straight out
And
and
that's
drink
the
or
point
draw.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
it was just, and that's what addiction is. It's just coping mechanism with how you're feeling. That's why addiction isn't really, in my eyes, addiction isn't really addiction. Otherwise everybody on the planet would be addicted.
Yeah.
It's what's going on.
It's us, it's our way of thinking that's the problem.
Yeah. And the life story sort of brings that out in people, I think.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it. So, yeah, we're up on time already. So, Nick, thank you for last week, mate. It was
Thanks, Nick.
totally appreciated. And obviously the views and everything else you got, and the comments we got, and the new subscribers we got is brilliant. So it's we'll be doing more of them. So keep tuned.
Thank you.
That's it from me. Thank you.
See you next week. Thank you.
All right.